Hey guys, as you could tell, it's just me again. We had some issues with securing the location that we normally shoot at, and Andy was unable to make it up to my place to do the show today, so I'm doing the show at my place. So we'll do what we normally do. I've been playing Phantasy Star 4 on the PSP via the Sega Genesis Collection. It's Phantasy Star 4. It's pretty awesome. I got stuck at the guy before the first encounter with Zero. It's a different guy, different game, different character. I got stuck on him because he just kept leveling my party with his full party attacks. He would drop all three or four characters at a time, and it would just be too much for me to be able to do damage to him and keep my party alive. But I ground out a couple more levels, and took care of him pretty handily. Now I'm driving around with my Land Rover. So I'm having fun reliving a game that I played when I was 10, 12, something like that. I'm also playing Mass Effect, but I'm playing it on the PC. Why am I playing it on the PC? Because I am terrible at third-person and first-person shooters on the console. I just can't get my head around having a controller in your hand and aiming with the thumbsticks. Now, games like games like Gears of War do a pretty good job of kind of aim assisting and things like that. But I had the original Mass Effect for my 360 when I had one a couple years ago, and I could not get into the way the combat worked on it with a controller. With a mouse and keyboard, though, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying the dialogue stuff. The story is actually pretty engaging. I'm only to the point where Shepard finally becomes a Spectre. So I'm looking forward to playing that game, and if I enjoyed that enough to want to drop another $10 or $15 on Mass Effect 2 on Steam, I probably will. So yeah, Mass Effect. Why am I playing a game from 2008? I don't know. The only problem I really have with the PC version is the way that it looks out of the box is kind of meh. Now, granted, I know it's a PC game from 2008, so I can't really be too picky about it. But you can go in and manually change some stuff in some configuration files, which would mean you have to go in through a text editor and edit some lines of stuff. But after you do that, it actually looks really good. And you can run it in whatever resolution you want, because you can sit there and go, okay, I want to run it in 1080. And you set it up, do it, looks great. So it's an older game, so I can expect that there's going to be issues with it running not poorly, because it runs fine. My machine is more than enough to handle it. It looks kind of crappy. But if that really bothers you, if you want super high res textures, there are HD mods that are out there for super high res textures for just characters, for the world, for everything. So playing Mass Effect, that's kind of cool. And I'm not replaying Assassin's Creed 3. I'm continuing to play side missions and stuff. Mostly because me and the wife bought a HD TV that does 3D on Black Friday. I've only really got one gripe about the 3D in Assassin's Creed is that it drops the screen resolution from 1080 if you run 1080p down to 720, but it kind of has to, because in order to get the quote true 3D effect, you have to display two images on the screen at the same time. And the PS3, while a pretty impressive piece of hardware, can only display that image if it's at a lower resolution, because it has to pack your right eye's information and your left eye's information on the screen. And then with the glasses that we have, it then separates it, and your brain goes, oh, hey, this is 3D. It's pretty neat. I played a couple of the naval missions. They're kind of short. At least the ones that I did, it's, save this boat from this impending attack, and it's, you and this boat taking on 17 or 18 other, other ships. Or it's, run down these guys and blow them up kind of things. But they take 5-10 minutes. They're fun, they're just not very long. And I've also been doing some of the peg leg missions, which are, kind of the equivalent of the Roman armor missions or the Brutus armor, that's what it was, from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood? Yeah, Brotherhood. So you have to collect, you have all these collectibles you get, and then you talk to the little dude that's at your, on the dock named Pegleg, and he'll give you missions, and you go get the 4 pieces of Captain Kidd's map, I think is who it is. But it's kind of fun. The 3D is really good. It's a really nice way to, see the game, quote, differently. It feels more engaging when, when you're running through town and things actually kind of look more realistic, And as much as I've dunked on 3D, I still think it is kind of gimmicky, but I can see why some people enjoy it. And I kind of enjoy it for playing Assassin's Creed. I don't know if I would play, anything else in 3D unless it just kind of struck me and said, hey, why don't I try this in 3D and see how it works. But it's an interesting thing, and I think, if you are really into, seeing 3D movies, you should, if you have the means to do so, get you a 3D TV with a couple pairs of 3D glasses. Speaking of, sales, last week was Black Friday. Was it last week? Yes, it was Black Friday, last Friday. THQ and the Humble Bundle are running a sale, or running a whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a sale. You can get 6 games, and if you spend a little bit more than the average, which I think right now is $5.65, you will get a 7th game. So your 6 games that you'll get for, if you spend $1 up to the above average mark, are Darksiders, the original, not the new one, Metro 2033, Red Faction Armageddon, Company of Heroes, Company of Hero Opposing Fronts, and Company of Heroes Tales of Valor. Now, those last 2, I'm not sure if they're expansions to Company of Heroes or if they are like standalone games. But, if you, for less than $5, you get, 4 to 6 games worth of gameplay for Steam. This is PC only, sorry. That's totally worth it. And then if you spend over the $5.65, you'll get Saints Row the Third, which for $6 essentially, that game is amazing. It's everything you liked about GTA plus insanity turned to 11. There's just all kinds of crazy stuff you can do in this game. When you buy this bundle, you can then choose how the money is spent. So you can say, I want all the money to go to THQ, or most of the money to go to THQ, or I want all the money to go to the Humble Bundle, or, and this is the really cool part, you can even say, I want all the money to go to the charities that they're supporting. I don't know if it's the same 2 charities all the time, or if it's, just kind of random stuff, but the THQ one is Child's Play and the American Red Cross. Both really awesome charities, in my opinion. So I would suggest, if you're going to buy it, spend, the $6 to get all the games, even if you're not going to play half of them. Since they're Steam codes, you can just, kind of pass that Steam code along to somebody else, because, I know people who already have Darksiders and Metro and Red Faction, and they're buying this because you can get Saints Row for $4, not $4, for $6. And, that's cool. And then you can just give the codes to other people, because I don't think they're giftable through Steam, so they would actually have to input them on their side. So, but that's cool. I like to see that, Humble Bundle, which is normally, they're doing indie games, which is great, because those indie developers need the exposure and whatnot. But, it's good to see that even though THQ is going through some rough financial times, they're still saying, you know what? Let's do something good for someone else, and let's do it through Humble. So it's good for THQ, sort of, because they may not get any of the money, or they may only get a small percentage of it. And it's good for Humble, because it kind of gets their name out there, and it says, we're not just for indie games, we're for big developers as well. But really, it's all it's good for the 2 charities involved, Child's Play and the American Red Cross. The sale runs for another, at this point right now, at a 1:15 on December 2nd. It's up for another 10 days. So you got a good week and a half to make your purchase, although the average is probably going to go up. At least maybe not a lot, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are just like, man, for $1, I'll take those 6 games. But you know, it's pretty neat. I've not bought a Humble Bundle before, but I may buy this one. Also, you get the soundtracks for all the games, or 5 of the games. You don't get the one for Metro, but you get the one for Saints Row, Darksiders, Red Faction, and then 2 of the Company Heroes of the 3 Company Heroes games. So that's cool. That's pretty much all I got for this week. I know it's short, but I'm by myself, and I can't really go on for long periods of time. So we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully Andy will be back, and all the madness that's going on where we normally shoot will be gone. So yeah, just don't forget to spay and neuter your Pokemon, and we'll see you next week.